Hey, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a good 2025. I feel like I had a pretty solid one. I went through a lot of stuff, but nothing wrong with a little bit of change, a little bit of difficulty pushes us to be stronger throughout the new year. I wanted to make this video on why EDM and live music is for everyone because I feel like people don't know that even shows exist or that what even a music festival really is. People just might have this assumption in their mind and it's just people getting messed up and they're just like looking to get loose or whatever it is, but people don't really think about the community and what really goes into a festival and live music in general. I feel like if there's an artist that you really like, just someone, think of your favorite artist right now. Think about seeing that person perform your top five songs. Literally, peak moment for anyone. There is music and there is shows for everyone. And I know EDM can be a little different, it's way more niche. People typically don't listen to as much EDM as comparison to other genres. There are a lot of super fans of people who listen to EDM. Like like I've talked about in past videos, the biggest DJs have a couple million monthly listeners on Spotify. If you look at that in comparison to someone like a Playboy Cardi, I think this is the example I used before, like 40 million monthly listeners. And arguably, you could say some of the bigger EDM artists could fill out a bigger room than, say, a Playboy Cardi. Not saying him particularly because he does sell a lot of tickets. But there's a lot of artists or rappers who have a lot of monthly listeners and a lot of followers on Instagram. And when they sell tickets or they drop a show or drop a tour, it doesn't sell as good as people would assume it would. Just because they have all those followers doesn't mean that those people would spend money on their ticket. So what I would say with DJs or EDM artists, the fans are super dedicated and it's more affordable. You can go to an EDM show for pretty cheap, depending on where you live. If you live in like the base capital, if you're in Denver, you're in a major city, Chicago, it can be really tough just because of scalpers. You have people who buy a whole bunch of tickets and then resell them. And there's just way more people. You're fighting against way more people to get those tickets. Like when Fred again dropped tickets, surprise drop in the queue for 180,000 people. Are those all real people? Probably a good chunk of them, but is it all real people? I don't know that answer, but it it's tough. Like you are fighting with a whole bunch of people who really want to see this show. And if there's a 10,000 capacity and there's 180,000 people, say, half of them they get to the end to check out and they're like, "Oh, I'm not paying that much. Never mind." And then the other half they time out. There's a whole bunch of little things that go into it, but by the time you get your place to buy your ticket, it's just resale. There isn't even like an actual pre-sale or normal ticket anymore. It's just people who already bought their 10 or whatever, and that can be tough. But in a smaller market, it's not as bad because there's just less people. So if they're playing in a venue for a few thousand people and it doesn't even sell out for pre-sale, you're able to actually pay a normal price, which we always want to save some money, right? I will say with EDM shows, there's diversity everywhere in all shows and all types of music, but I'd say for EDM and jam bands particularly, they go hard. It is such a diverse group of people and I love it. You can just be yourself. You literally don't have to worry about holding up any type of image. You just do and be who you are. And if you're at that show, everyone there more than likely also wants to be there. So you are with and around people who care about the music. So even if you are going by yourself or just with one buddy, you're surrounded by people who are all inclusive and they want to be there. And that's the beauty of what I say, like with EDM, because such a tight knit, dedicated fan base, you're in for a good time. Even if you don't necessarily know the music or you're new to it, I would give it a shot at the very least because you just never know what you'll like. And it's cheaper. Like I said, if you want to see like a really big rapper, Like if you want to see a Drake show, for example, you're dropping at least a few hundred for nosebleeds. Even if you want a floor seat, $500, $600, $700 seat. Being on the floor, and that's expensive. That's like a lot of money to drop for like a 3-hour show. Granted, that's a lot of people's favorite artist. If you really like Drake, I like Drake, but I personally would not pay $700 to see him because that is just way too expensive for one artist in my eyes. But with EDM, I think you can go see your favorite artist for me, typically like 50 to $100, which is kind of expensive, I would say, for like a night show. But when it comes to EDM, there's way more production, a lot of lasers, a lot of lighting. The sound usually is very reinforced, so there's a lot of bass, and they really do a good job of making it worth your while. You get a bang for your buck, I would say. And I would say another thing, not to get too off topic, and it's a very shared experience. Everyone there, once again, coming back to that, they want to be there. So everyone is one collective conscious of energy. It's great to just be there with people who really do enjoy it. And even if it's not your cup of tea, you're going to have a good time because everyone there will make sure you feel included and you having a good time. And you don't have to be under the influence of substances. I feel like there's the connotation with EDM is, oh, everyone's just, doing stuff. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and enjoy the music. That's what I do. And I will say it's just very community based. Everyone there, we all like our own types of genres. Like EDM is the broad term for all of it, but the subgenres, dubstep, rhythm, that's a subgenre of dubstep. It gets kind of confusing, but dubstep, drum and bass, house I would say are like the three like ones that most people know, and then like techno. Those are the genres. Genres can be a little weird, but EDM is just the broad term for all of it encompassed into one thing. And you will find what you like. It's just a matter of actually just giving it a shot. Even if it's not live, give it a shot on your own time. And then when you finally do find like an artist you actually like, see if they have any shows coming up around. And Spotify is really good at letting you know when a show is coming up near your area at least. Like if you don't live in a major city, then it'll be like the nearest show to you, which would be like, if you live in the outskirts of Tennessee, it'll be like next show in Nashville or et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. But honestly, give it a shot. I feel like you gotta give it at least a chance before you just mark it off your list because it's very beautiful. And the energy at a show is just so different. I feel like people, they hear it on their phone or like through their headphones or wherever at like a party. It's cool, but seeing it live, like actually live with a proper professional sound system and with people who are really in it and the people who take their craft very seriously, is just, it can't be beat. I feel like if you give it the actual try and you still don't like it, fair enough. It's not for everybody. But at the same time, I feel like majority of people give it a proper try and they're like, whoa, hold up. I think I just found my new favorite thing. This is cool. I didn't even realize this was a thing. Wow. So the person who takes you to your first rave, you owe them a cookie because they're introducing you to a whole brand new world. And it's just something that I think everyone should at least give a chance to. And I'll end this off with one more thing. I think when people go to live shows, I talked mainly about EDM here, it gives you a sense of belonging. You are with people and you're doing the thing that we all love. I feel like music is very universal. It's one thing that I feel like as humans, majority of people love music. Even if it's not the same style of music, I feel like everyone can at least appreciate good music. So if you give it a proper chance, you will feel like you belong. You might meet some of your best friends, and you really just, I can't even say words right now because I'm just thinking about all the times that I've had at a live show, just living my best life and really finding purpose in myself and what I love. And that is feeling a sense of community and belonging with others and just being myself. I'm able to just do as I please and I'm able to do what I want. And coming together and doing that with others, just, it can't be beat in my eyes. So I say all that to say, if you have an idea or an inkling of wanting to go to a live show, give it a shot. Even if it's not EDM, go see an artist that you like. Even if it's an unknown artist, go to your local bar and just see someone playing. Whether it's a DJ or just like a live band, a jam band, a local rapper, like literally anything. Live music is universal in general. It might not be as extravagant seeing it at like a massive venue, but going to like your local bar or your local scene in general and seeing someone play, it could be a nice experience, and it can open you up to wanting to go to a bigger venue, because it can be kind of nerve-wracking thinking, whoa, I'm in this building with 5,000 people. This is kind of scary. But start small, go to a building with a couple hundred people, if that even, 50, 100 people, and slowly work your way up. It always helps to go with somebody. I like to do a lot of stuff solo, but at the same time, it's nice to have like the buddy system rather. But with that, you don't have to fit a stereotype to love live music. You can literally do whatever you want to do. It's just a matter of finding that passion and finding the artist that you truly love. And it's not that hard. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, great year, 2026. Thank you very much.